10 years. 10 years, give or take, I was on maximum level security prisons, and finally being on a low level, it was a system shock. Even within prison, I was at a place where, even though I worked hard to be here, to get onto a lower level, to be in a position where I could see my girlfriend and possibly get some trades and whatever it is, some more stuff to help me, because on the higher the level it is, the harder it is to be successful, get into programs, etc. But because of the fact it was sheer madness, there was no privacy, no quiet time. It was sensory overload, and nobody cared about your space around you. You slept less than 3 feet. On both sides, there was a bunk, and somebody slept directly over you. It's a warehouse for human beings. It was too much for me. On top of that, I was clearly institutionalized and state struck, as some say. And to what extent? Well, to give you an example, on level threes and up, you do not come out of your cell in your shower shoes. You stay in your state boots because it can go down at any given time. On level twos, everybody's walking around in shower shoes in the dorm. That's what they do. But me, because I was gone for so long on high levels, while everybody else was walking around in shower shoes, I was walking around in my state boots. I refused to acclimate into how they were moving. I was still in prison, and in my mindset, it could go down at any given time, and I was not going to be caught off guard or caught slipping, no pun intended. So I kept my state boots on, and some of the brothers that was cool with me, they would ask me like, bro, you could chill, bro. It's not like that here. It's really not that serious. But mind you, the gangbanging was at an all-time high up there. Not gonna lie, for it to be a level two, they were active. Maybe because the camp was younger, people were coming more recently from the streets. But there was still plenty of activity. People was getting beat up. People was getting hit with locks. People was getting hurt. There was just a joint in one of the pods where a city and one of the cars got into it. It was like 10, 15 people deep. They hitting people with crutches, locks and socks, all types of stuff. So I'm gonna stay on point. Yeah, people aren't necessarily poking each other with a piece of steel, but you're not even gonna lump me up if I can stand it. That's just where I was. I was so gone, so state struck to the point that I also, looking back, I think I was overly militant, if that's a such thing. Because I was on high levels where there were certain periods of time where at any given time it could pop off and you had to be on point and ready for it to be, on like a fireman. I would sleep in my full prison blues. I take a shower at night, but I would put my full prison blues on, including my shirt tucked into my pants with my belt, and I'd be wearing my state boots. I'd clean them off, and I would sleep on top of my blankets with my hands like this, my weapon at my waist. That's how gone I was on those high levels. But to my defense, there was some serious stuff going on at the time, some of it which I've already explained. Here, I didn't have the weapon on my waist, but I was in my blues. I was in full battle uniform, or battle dress, as they say, like a fireman, ready to go in case it went off. I was bonkers. Though I was so normal on one side, on the opposite, you could clearly see I was prison out. Um, I call it being prison-fied. I was institutionalized. I was conditioned by the environment to always be in fight or flight, always be on point, and be ready to roll. The brothers would tell me, continuous times like, bro, it's not that serious, it's not that deep. You gonna make people feel like they need to be on edge around you because of the way you moving. But I wasn't really trying to hear that. Um, the next, I guess, shift for me that provided some type of normalcy was when the counselor came to me for the first time, a genuine counselor, and asked me if I was okay. It's so hard to find mental health in prison, or mental health assistance, genuine mental health assistance, where people don't just look at you like you're a number or just a straight up piece of trash, but where they actually try to help you. And usually you have to seek them, you got to fill out a request form. But this was somebody that went out their way and asked me if I was okay. And I'll never forget this counselor. I'm always appreciative. And to this day, every now and then, might be once every couple of years, I get a message. She tells me she's proud of me. But this was a very pivotal moment in my bid in my prison journey, because when she asked me if I was okay, I told her no, I'm not. I'm messed up in the head. And I began to vent, and I talked about how I had lost family members since I've been gone, how I'm watching my mother get older, how me and my girlfriend can't get things right. We're always fighting on the phone because we're stressed out behind this. I can't take it no more. I can't take it. There's nowhere to get privacy where I can deal with my own thoughts here. I have to go. She looked at me and she said, I want to remind you something, if you don't mind. I said, sure. She said, you can only go forward or backwards, but you can't go both directions at the same time. And for as simple as a statement that may be, it was extremely profound, because in that moment, I guess she seen a switch get hit, because she could see that I wanted to go home, and I understood I was in single digits, but I was damaged. The system had corrupted me. I was traumatized and still had some time to go. But it was in that moment that she started to literally, on a piece of paper, start to jot out a plan for me on what I can do to be successful in prison and find peace in an environment like this. And she broke that thing down to exercise, to going to rec during this time, signing up for these programs, whatever it is, going to the library because there was less people there, you know, all of that, programs, all of that. And over the next couple of weeks, I started to work on that, and things did start to shift. I was working in the kitchen. I started to get, you know, a little bit settled. I no longer was wearing my prison blues or sleeping. I started to wear my sweatpants and t-shirt or whatever, my shorts and t-shirt. Still was in my state boots, no shower shoes or slides walking around. But I was happier. I was on the yard jogging, working out. I was getting back into my bid, and looking forward to visits again. And I think that the counselor, she seen that. I know she did, because it wasn't too long till after that she came and asked me a question. And the question was simple. I didn't really understand the brevity of it at times, but she said, hey, I got an opportunity for you to have a job here in the prison, but you'd have to move. You're a good fit. You've got influence. The guys, they look up to your crazy self. She said it just like this. She said, but if you go over there and you take this job, there's no looking back for sure. You got accountability, responsibility, and some other things over there. I sat back and I was like, oh, what, you know, for like 2 seconds, I was like, I don't know. She's like, well, at least give me an opportunity to tell me about it, or tell you about it. And I was like, all right. She's like, just come to my office tomorrow and I'll tell you about it, and you let me know if it's something you're interested in. And if you are, cool. And if not, I understand. But I think it'll be good for you. And I think it not only will help you, but I think it'll help others, even while you're in prison.